Some stories never make it out the shadows. And tonight, we're shining a light where most people would rather look away. This isn't the sanitized version. It's messy, it's raw, it's uncomfortable, because that's how the real truth sounds. Let's get something straight. Family court isn't a place where problems get solved. For too many fathers, it's a disappearing act. The moment love dies, so does the idea that both parents matter. I know some of you are clutching your pearls already. Good, because we're not here to make anybody comfortable. I'm here to talk about what really happens when the system picks favorites and writes fathers out of their kids' stories. Imagine this. You spend years side by side, diaper changing, midnight fevers, school runs, balancing bills, and dreams. But the second things turn ugly, the script flips. Suddenly, dad is a danger. He's a visitor, a backup parent, if he's lucky. That's not a mistake. It's a crime. And the courts has the pen and the eraser. And here's the gut punch. Sometimes the protective mom label isn't about safety, it's about strategy. Sometimes being a mom in court means playing every card, even ones that cut the kids apart. That's not family, that's theater. And the audience? Judges with gavels, lawyers with billable hours, and kids stuck in the cheap seat, waiting to see who will disappear next. This episode is not about mother blaming. It's about exposing a system that dares to call this justice. So if you're here to feel good, turn off the show. But if you want the truth, the kind that leaves scars but also starts revolutions, welcome to Family Court Uncensored. Tonight, we drag these stories into the light, and I dare you to look away. And before we go any further, I am not an attorney, and what you're about to hear is for information and inspiration, not for legal advice. If you're tangled up in your own court nightmare, talk to a qualified family law attorney or reach out to our trusted sponsors at Family Assist Legal Services who actually help you fight. You can reach them at info@familyassistlegalservices.com. Now let's get into tonight's episode. Every courtroom has secrets. Every family has scars. I'm your host, the Truth Seeker, and I dig where others won't. If you think justice is simple, think again. In Family Court Uncensored, we follow the clues, crack open the cases, and expose the truth that the system tries to bury. Maybe you'll see your own story in the shadows we shine a light on. Or maybe you'll finally understand what's really at stake. This isn't just a talk, it's an investigation. Let's get to it. So let's dig into the first hits. This is the case that I call the participation paradox. Strap in, because this one blows up everything you thought you knew about fathers. Let's stop dancing around it. Family court isn't just broken, it's complicated. The system doesn't protect, it erases. And nowhere is that clearer than in what I call the participation paradox. You want to know what's wild? A father can be denied, erased, and punished, not for what he's done, but for the simple fact that he's not the mother. Court hands out supervised parenting time, restricted access, and rubber-stamped removals based on nothing but feelings, stories, and lack of physical evidence, while mothers stand in the center, feeding the narrative. I've seen this play out in real life way too many times. Imagine a dad who shows up every week for his court-mandated visits, trying to remind everyone he actually exists. He's forced to prove a negative, prove he's not a monster, not a threat, not the cartoon villain that paperwork prints him as. Meanwhile, a rumor, a late-night accusation is all it takes for the system to slam the door in the father's face. If you're a man with actual proof of abuse, photos, doctor's notes, witnesses, it's shrugged off, ignored, and treated as a statistically anomaly. You can't be a victim. Men aren't vulnerable, only dangerous. When courts ignore physical evidence in favor of a narrative, what chances do fathers have? Think about the message kids get from this. A loving father becomes a stranger by order, by design. A child's world shrinks, not by accident, but for the convenience of a judge's calendar. That's judicial bias. That's enabling. That's turning a law into a weapon. False allegations fly. And instead of investigating, instead of weighing evidence, judge plays favorite. Assume women nurture, men destroy. The results? Good fathers become ghosts. Their kids grow up only hearing half the story, but the truth is, the court wanted it this way. The courts don't just allow mothers to erase dads, they hand them the erasers. All it takes is a rumor, a performance, and dad is boxed out. Meanwhile, even with real evidence, fathers get told it's not enough. Their pain unacknowledged, their stories unheard. Every time the system claims it's best for the child, best for who? Is it best for the parent who controls the story, the narrative? Best for a judge, a burned out caseworker, a family lawyer counting billable hours? Best for the child who starts to believe love means picking sides, or worse, living without one? Ask yourself this. If you traded places with these fathers, would you even know how to fight back? Would you know how to defend your right to simply show up? Let's get personal, because these aren't just cases, these are families. And I'm a woman, and I get it. We're handed this script as women. We do it all, we hold it together. But men want to parent too. They want in, until the system slams the doors and calls them second-rated parents. And you know what's wild? There are mothers out here who'd sooner leave their kids with other people than let their father raise these children, just to protect the image of supposedly doing it all. That's not parenting. What we are teaching our children is that dads are optional, that partnership is weak, that control is more important than connection. Here's what no one wants to talk about. Has anybody asked the dads how they feel? If you have, you'll probably hear that they have said they have begged to be involved. Some have waited outside dance recitals, called late at night just to hear about a science fair, paid for braces they never even got to see. But sometimes that same mother who shuts out dads are in court saying, I do it all. He's never around. He doesn't contribute. He won't help. The truth is, maybe that mother didn't let him. Maybe that pride, the pain, or the system made you as a mother believe keeping him out was easier than letting him in. It's a paradox, a trap. Dads get labeled uninvolved, but every time they try, the door gets slammed. In court, that absence becomes a weapon. Make it make sense. And everywhere, we celebrate the supermom, the survivor, the woman who does it all, and ignore the exhaustion, ignoring the fact that sometimes doing it all means refusing help, weaponizing burnout to keep the crown and control. Have you ever seen a kid try to explain why their dad left? They repeat the grown-up story. He didn't try. He's not safe. He moved on. But half the time, dad was locked out by paperwork, by accusations, by a narrative everyone agreed to, but nobody questioned. Let's talk about this double standard. We throw parades for single moms who do it all, but ignore the system that pushes fathers out and then slap them with a deadbeat label. Now ask yourself, maybe he's not a deadbeat? Maybe he's been erased, forced out, talked down, punished for being too persistent, too patient, too hopeful for too long. And here comes the predictable timeline. Well, courts look out for kids. Mothers just know better. They know how to nurture. It's natural. Are you kidding me? Tell that to a dad buying hair ties, learning ballet terminology, sitting through IEP meetings. Dads who actually showed up because they wanted to, not because they had to. Let's make this personal. How many of you listening have felt the exhaustion, the frustration, The guilt on either side, whether it's mom or dad. How many moms have burned out for no reason except believing they weren't allowed to ask for help or they shouldn't ask for help? How many dads learned silence hurts less than banging on a locked door? Enough. Enough with the supermom and the deadbeat garbage. If you just felt your blood pressure spike, congratulations. You're paying attention. Don't cut your pearls just yet. Let's be honest. We all know these labels hurt more than they help. Enough with the backward court rulings and lazy assumptions. Parenting isn't about gender. It's about showing up and being allowed to matter. So let me ask you, who really wins when there's a double standard? Mothers aren't winning, fathers aren't winning, and certainly not our children. But the system wins, unchallenged, unchanged, and profiting from silence. Let's go beyond the paradox and look at how the real playbook works. We say the system like it's a faceless machine, but truthfully, it's powered by people like judges, lawyers, and mothers who know which buttons to push. This isn't an accidental tragedy. It's a repeated, rehearsed, and rewarded. You file a motion, make an accusation, watch the father scramble, beg, and fight for crumbs. And some women know exactly how it works. They know they'll be believed first, that every hearing is tilted in their favor, that sympathy is built into the system. All it takes is a raised voice, a well-timed accusation, a dreaded up old text, and doors are slammed. It's not protection or safety, it's control. Feed this machine that we call the justice system, and your children become pawns, losing half their family, losing their own sense of security and self-worth. I've seen too many mothers weaponize, quote unquote, the primary parent, not as a burden, but as a reward, refusing to let kids love their fathers freely. They poison their hearts one bedtime story at a time, using silence and shame to foster loyalty. If you love your child more than you hate your ex, prove it. Because every time you play this game, you repeat this toxic cycle, raising kids on exclusion and teaching them that their relationships are conditional and that forgiveness is weakness. You think you're winning, but what you're really teaching is how to walk away. And you win, and everybody else loses. Now, I know some mothers are going to come for me after this, and that's okay. And I've heard it all before. Not all mothers. And you're right. I'm not saying all mothers are like this. But I've seen this more than anyone should have to. And if this makes you angry or you became defensive, ask yourself why. If it didn't apply to you, then you're not the target. But if the mirror feels uncomfortable, really look at it. Break the cycle. Let your child love their father without needing you to referee their hearts. Family court survives on secrets and silence. But tonight, I expose it all. No fear, no filter. This fight isn't just mine. It's every family's. If you've been erased, silenced. If your kids are missing a parent that they still love, speak out. The louder our stories are, the less control the system has. Comfortable lies protects no one. Tonight, the truth gets the last word. Did you recognize yourself in this story? Or do you know somebody who has this similar story? Don't wait. Hit subscribe and pass this episode on and take a stand with me. Send your story, your pain, your truth, and your hope for what's possible so we can drag it into the open and finally force some daylight into this dark corner of family law. We're not stopping until our children and fathers get the justice they're owed. Family Court Uncensored is the movement, the megaphone, the place where silence dies and the fights get real. Thank you for joining me on this episode. The road ahead again won't be easy. It might break your heart. It might bring you to tears, but it's a road we walk together towards truth, justice, and real change. If you or someone you know needs urgent help, please, again, reach out to our trusted partners at Family Assist Legal Services. Until next time, stay alert, stay informed, and never stop seeking, never stop demanding the real truth. I'm your host, the Truth Seeker, signing off from Family Court Uncensored.